permit the charges to flow through it, so that charges remain at the same point. That's why they are showing the attraction. But here in this steel and copper rod, once the charges, when they are rubbed with the other kind of material, suppose this is the steel rod, it is rubbed with something. There is some transaction of transfer of charges, transfer of electrons from the metal. This is the metal, alloy and metal. Alloy is also mixture of metal. Here also the electrons are transferred from the metal. So that obviously they must develop positive charges. But once the positive charges are developed on the surface of metal, what happens? That charges are able to flow through this rod. Means whatever the charges are developed on this surface, on this place, on this point, they are moving, they are able to move, they are able to flow to another part of this material. That's why the paper pieces were not attracted with the rod and copper rods. So on the basis of this, we distinguish the materials. Some materials allow the charges to flow through them, and some materials do not allow the charges to flow through them. They do not allow the charges. These materials allow the charges to flow through them. So we call them insulator and conductors. Insulators and conductors. Those materials do not allow the charges to flow through them. They are insulators. Which allow the charges to flow through them are conductors. Mostly all the metals are good conductors. They are the conductors of electricity, or we can say metals are permitting the charges to flow through them. So metals are conductors. And non-metals, glass, plastic, cloth, dry wood. Cloth should also be dry. Wood should also be dry. Polythene. They are all the insulators. So insulators, they can be charged easily. Because on that insulators the charges can be developed easily. But on the metals the charges cannot be developed easily, because once the charges developed, they are able to flow quickly to other part of metal. That's why these metals cannot be charged easily. For conductors, we have so many other examples. These are the examples in solids. Metals are the conductors of electricity. Conductors through which the charges can flow. Other than this metal, we have the salt solution. Salt solution in liquids. Through the salt solution also the charges can flow. And then ionized gases. Normal, natural, the gases in their original form cannot allow the charges, but if the gases are ionized, then they are the conductors. These are the conductors of electricity through which the charges can flow. These are some examples for the conductors and insulator. And for the insulator, we have two important examples. They are, air is very good insulator. Air is the very good insulator for the electricity. That means they do not allow the charges to flow through them. And also distilled water. Distilled water is also very good insulator. Distilled water means pure water. Only the water molecule, water particle present in the water. But the water which we people are using for our daily life contains many kind of minerals, salts. Therefore, that normal water is the good conductor of electricity. The distilled water is good insulator. And we need this example. The air is very good insulator of electricity. They do not allow the charges completely. that is required to discuss about this lightning. That phenomenon, that thing is required. Right? So, in this, the material are classified. Now, we have to discuss. These are the some practical methods. One more practical method is also there, that to identify whether an object is charged or not. We have one device. There is a device, a very good device to identify whether any given object is charged or uncharged. And the name of that device is the electroscope. It is electroscope. Right? Electroscope, and completely it is named as gold leaf electroscope. Gold leaf electroscope. Why? In that gold leaf, gold is used in the shape of the leaf. Now, so let us discuss that gold leaf electroscope. First, we see the simple construction and then how it is used. See, here we have a glass jar, glass or plastic jar. That should be transparent, that's all. It may be glass or plastic. This is a glass jar, right? And on this glass jar, we are putting a cardboard. We are putting a cardboard on this, right? Now on this cardboard, we are inserting a straight wire, metallic wire that is good conductor, metallic wire through this, right? Through the cardboard, we are passing a straight wire. It may be copper wire or silver wire also, because silver is very good conductor. Next, copper. Since silver is costly, so we use the copper wire. At one end of this copper wire, we make this type of structure, a hook-like structure, right? Now on this hook-like structure, we put the gold leaf. Gold leaf means gold material is made in the form of simple, very thin strip-like structure. Why it is gold? Why not other metal? Because gold is also costly. Because gold is highly malleable. Gold is highly malleable. We can change this gold into very thin sheet. Copper cannot be. That's why we use the gold leaf. That gold leaf is bent in the form of V shape and put over this. Right? Gold leaf is bent enough. Now the electroscope is ready to test whether an object is charged or uncharged. Now it is covered by the cardboard. The jar is covered by cardboard because to avoid any disturbance, external disturbance, air disturbance, right? So now we take any object which is rubbed with the other thing. A glass rod is rubbed with, or plastic scale rubbed with the woolen cloth or polythene, is bring nearer to it. Suppose this is a plastic scale or plastic refill, whatever it is. It is rubbed with the woolen cloth and bring nearer to it. Not only it should be bring nearer to it, it should be in contact with this also. If it is kept in contact, then the charges will be transferred. Whatever be the charges are developed on the plastic refill, plastic scale, on putting the refill in contact with the wire, the negative charges are transferred completely. And that process of transfer of the charges developed on one material completely to the other material after having physical contact with it is known as conduction. Is known as conduction. So here the charges on the plastic refill transferred to this copper wire by the process of conduction. That charges which are developed, which are transferred to the copper wire, since copper wire is conductor, that charges are flowing through this wire and finally reaching the gold leaves. Gold leaves which are on the both the side. So this is the hook-like structure. Hook-like structure. On this hook-like structure we have the gold stream. Gold strips on both the sides. On both the sides the same kind of charges are coming because negative charges are coming. On this leaf negative charges, this leaf also negative charges are developed. Due to the appearance of similar charges on both sides of leaves, they show repulsion. If the leaves are showing the repulsion, we can say this object is charged. This object is charged. If there is no change in the position of leaves on touching this object, if the leaves are not changing their position, then we can say it is uncharged. So that is the very simple method. If the position of leaves changes, they show repulsion, the object which is in contact with the wire is charged. If there is no change, it is uncharged. That is very simple activity. So this is the diagram for the electroscope, that is gold leaf electroscope. Here this is jar. The jar may be glass or plastic, cardboard, then this is copper wire or any wire, metallic wire should be wire, right? That's all. This is the object which is to be tested whether it is charged or not. So this is one device which is used to test whether an object is charged or uncharged. That is gold leaf electroscope. By this we can identify, we can distinguish we can test any kind of material whether it is charged or uncharged. Right? So remaining thing we will discuss in the next session.